You ever wonder how someone lays out their circuits and run their wires and the thought process behind it all? Well, we're going to go deep. there's, there's actually a joke in there that you'll get later. I promise. You'll get it later. Um, in my thought process, in my head, how I like to do this. And we're also going to talk about why it's not a good idea to staple the wires to the bottom side of the joist compared to drilling the holes in the joist. And why it's just not a good idea. Ah! Several months ago, I ran a bunch of these wires. And one of you, named DSG Label, said that it's not appropriate for his area. Now, his area is just downstate from me. So I did some digging. Locally, this isn't a problem. But it actually is. And let me show you what's going on. So I have these stapled to the bottom side of the floor joist. Even though I use an insulated staple with independent nails, it's still considered to be a problem. And why is that? Well, if these were all, ran on the bottom side of these joists, and someone were to come in here with something, who knows what, and were to pinch these wires up against that floor joist, you could cause a problem. And that's the theory behind why you're not allowed to do it this way. So what has to happen is you have to run the wire through the floor joist up there. Now, I highly recommend you check in with your local authorities, and not just the code enforcement, but dig deeper. Talk to an electrician, talk to the electrical inspectors. However your system is set up, really talk to people that you trust to get the answers that you need. Because it honestly took a little bit of digging to get all of the answers I wanted. Now, I'll tell you, from my area, I'm allowed to run a 1-inch hole, which hurts me as a carpenter. Honestly, to go through and do all this work and strengthen all these floor systems and then start hogging holes in it, man, that doesn't, whatever. Anyway, that's what I need to do. 1-inch holes, I can run 3 12-2 wires through those 1-inch holes. And that's what I'm going to do, is stick to what the code actually says and go by the person I found that I feel is an authority on the subject. Well, it's time to get to work. Just brought old Ace here back from a spa day, and boy did she need it. Now, as you can see, she's still a little filthy, but it's not what's on the outside that matters, it's what's on the inside, right? Well, what's gonna happen is pretty soon we're gonna make this old girl work pretty darn hard, and in preparation for that, I want to make sure I treated her right beforehand, and that involves a complete flush of the transmission. The gearboxes all got a nice deep tissue massage, little fluid flush there as well. And she got a brand new pair of shoes. Here's my thought process for this. I'll have one switch here for the kitchen area, one switch here for the dining area, and then for the peninsula in the kitchen, we'll do a standalone switch just for that over on that wall. Here will be the other switch for the kitchen, where the first one's right there. And then the second one will be for the dining room, which is this way. The dining room, again, we have the switch here. Then the second switch is way over here. And then the other switch for the living room, which was over by the front door, is also here. So no matter which way you're going around the fireplace, you can turn lights on and off everywhere you go. I just hung this box for the light switch for the primary suite. And I thought, all right, I can start running my wire. And then I started thinking, well, how is this space going to get used? And by who? And is that the right decision? Is it only one switch for this space? All the other bedrooms only have one switch. Well, then I started thinking, well, what if it was the dead of winter and I went out for a cross-country ski and I got real cold, and I mean real cold. Because honestly, I like to ski when it is really cold, like -10. I'll go out for a ski. Come home and you're cold right to your core, like your bones are cold. And you come into your primary suite and you go into the closet and you grab whatever clothing you want to wear for the evening, and you come back out and your lights are on. Well, if you're going to go take a bath, do you want to leave your lights on the whole time? So I kick the lights off. Well, then you have to walk from the closet to the bathroom with the lights off. Not that big of a deal, but I have kids and I have dogs. Well, there could be anything on the floor. You just never know, right? To kick the light back on. And then you go into the bath and you get yourself settled in. And then you look out into the bedroom area and the lights are on. Me personally, I couldn't relax in a bath knowing the lights are on in here. So I'd end up getting out of the bath, coming back out, make sure the floor is clear, turning the lights off, and then going back to the bath. And then I get scolded because I got the carpet wet. So I think, well, let's avoid all of that and simply just add another switch on the outside of the primary bath door and, solve all of those little miscellaneous problems. Yeah, let's do that. Bam! All done. Enjoy your bath. Good afternoon. And no, I'm not wearing a hat. It's too darn hot to be dapper. Anyway, I've been running wire all morning, and now we're running wire up into the attic space where I don't have direct access from down below, because there's the old floor system that still exists up there. Well, anyway, I'm about to go up there, and I thought I'd just take you along with me. So we're gonna run this 14-3 up through here and across that ceiling and land it over there. Now, 14-3 is, well, it's a 14 gauge and 3 wires. So you have your 2 hots and a neutral and a ground, of course. So what I've done is I've drilled a hole up in that top plate and then through that old floor system up there. And now what we're gonna do is turn this floodlight on so that that light will beam up through there, and then hopefully we can find a hole easier. The attic scuttle that we created a few weeks back. Good golly, it's hot up here. Whoa. Whew. Man, I should get that thermal imaging camera up here. Holy cannoli, is it hot. Whew. All right, perfect. There's our light. Right there. Down we go. Then we'll dress that wire up against this truss later. Whew, like maybe in the morning when it's not quite as hot up here. It's kind of a neat view of the trusses. 113. You travel down the truss. 95. Interesting. The sun must be beating right there. I wonder if that's in partial shade down there. Interesting. Sounds like the air temperature is right around 106. The roof deck is 110-ish. Well, all I can tell you is that it's really hot. And the humidity here is 94% or something. It's hot. It's humid. I'm sweating a lot. Right, next step is to simply label it. Because chances are it's going to be a month or so before I actually put the switches in here. So this will be dining. And this is source. Wires, electrical. It's about 75% done. I think we have a few outlets left and a little bit of lighting and smoke detection, and we'll have this thing lit and that much closer to sheetrock. And I'm getting a little bit of traction on that. I can't confirm anything yet, but as soon as I get those confirmations, I will share that with you. And I really hope you're not looking at the next sheetrocker. Man, that'd be awful. Anywho, if you made this far in a video, welcome to High Peaks Home, where it's my goal to inform you about all the inner workings of the home. And if you want to see where it all began, check out this video. And if you're just following along, go over here.